I can still remember my morning routine when I first decided to revise the Qur'an after I had finished memorizing it a few years prior. It looked a little bit like this. I'd wake up at around 10 a.m. and the first thing that I would do was check my phone. I'd scroll through messages and social media posts. Then I'd get up to make a coffee. After that, I'd sit down and write my to-do list for the day, mentally planning everything that needed to be done. Every morning I had the same intention. I will definitely make some time for the Qur'an today. But then life just got busy. First, I'd start with the dishes and then the vacuuming. As I scrubbed the plates and tidied the cushions, I'd think to myself, once the house is clean, I'll finally have some time to sit and focus on the Qur'an. I convinced myself that I needed a perfectly clean space before I could sit and revise my Qur'an. But before I knew it, it was nearly 12 p.m. and still I hadn't even picked up my mushaf. It was like every distraction was demanding my attention. The messages on WhatsApp, the notifications on Instagram, and I gave in to all of them. By the time the evening came, I was absolutely exhausted. And yet, the Qur'an remained on the shelf, untouched. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows I'm busy. He understands. There's always tomorrow. But when tomorrow came, the cycle repeated itself. My heart began to feel heavy and my iman began to weaken. See, the thing here is, it wasn't that I didn't want to read the Qur'an. It was just that somehow, no matter how hard I tried, it always got pushed to the back of the line. I know that I'm not alone in this. Many of us face this struggle. Life is extremely busy, subhanallah, especially because we're juggling multiple roles. Mothers, wives, daughters, entrepreneurs. Whether we are working full-time or running after toddlers, life is extremely busy. But what's really interesting is that somehow we still find time for everything else. Work, family, obligations, errands, and of course, social media. Yet, the Qur'an, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ultimate source of guidance in this world and the next, keeps getting pushed to the side. Deep down, I knew the truth. It wasn't that I didn't have enough time. It was that I wasn't prioritizing the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I kept trying to squeeze the Qur'an into my day if I had any time left. But the truth is that the Qur'an isn't something to just fit into spare moments or treat as just another task on the list. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the Qur'an in Surah Fussilat, وَإِنَّهُ لَكِتَابٌ عَزِيزٌ. And indeed, this is a mighty, honorable book. The Qur'an requires commitment and dedication. It's really embarrassing when you think about it, subhanallah. We find hours to scroll through Instagram, respond to messages, and swipe through TikToks online. But when it comes to dedicating just 20 minutes to the Qur'an, it feels like there's never enough time. And in retrospect, I question, how had I convinced myself that everything else was more important than the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Muzammil, عَلِمَ أَن سَيَكُونُ مِنكُم مَّرْضَى وَآخَرُونَ يَضْرِبُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and He knew there would be among you those who are ill, others traveling through the land seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's bounty, and others fighting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's cause. So recite what is easy from it. Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows we are busy. He acknowledges this. He knows we have responsibilities and distractions. And yet, even during jihad and when traveling, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows for concessions for fasting and prayer, where we are allowed to shorten our prayer, but He still encourages us to recite His words. If those fighting in battle are advised to connect with the Qur'an, then what is our excuse? Here we are finding time for everything else, but struggling to find 20 minutes to connect with the Qur'an. How are we not prioritizing time for the one who created time? So I tried to make a promise to myself, a commitment to dedicate time to the Qur'an in the morning, no matter how busy life became. And that's what you need to do too. You need to set a specific, non-negotiable time block for the Qur'an. Every time you feel burdened or distracted, remember those words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Muzammil. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ. A little connection is better than no connection. And inshallah, that's what I want you to start implementing from today too. Don't make the same mistake as I did and wait for the perfect moment to fit the Qur'an into your day after everything else is done. Instead, start your day with the Qur'an, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. Remember, there is no such thing as not having enough time. When something truly matters to us, and in this case, reading the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will make time. We will prioritize it always. And with that, I conclude by saying, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Until next time, inshallah, astawdirukumullah, alladhi la tadiru wada'i'ah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.